One of the things we are always doing here at the Sisters Enchanted is amplifying our holistic witchery experience. It is the class that we think every person should take because it teaches you the fundamentals of working with energy and the moon and your intuition and all of the witchy delightfulness that makes this world really feel alive with magic. But it also teaches our unique, exclusive, and proven 5-eye spiral, which helps to expand anything in your life, bring rhythm, more presence, and is oh so good. And one of the things we did this time around is amplify the experience by bringing in a co-teacher to lead a little something we're calling Kelly's Corner. And you're going to meet that teacher in today's episode of Expedition to Soul. We know that you were born magical. We know that you are intuitive, and we know that you are brimming with everyday enchantment. Here at the Sisters Enchanted, we believe in intention, we believe in intuition, and we believe in everyday magic. Welcome in to the Expedition to Soul podcast. I'm Sarah, founder of the Sisters Enchanted, and I'm joined today by the always lovely Kelly Sroka and the host of Kelly's Corner. Hi,
yes,
Kelly.
Hello. It's so nice to be here and to be here from my corner and sharing all the holistic witchery goodness that is going on this time around.
Yes. Kelly, you're a veteran podcaster here, podcast guest. This is not your first rodeo on the Expedition to Soul podcast.
Yes, many times now.
Yes, but your first time here as TSE team and teacher and host of Kelly's Corner. So that's new and exciting.
Yes, it is very exciting. I'm just thrilled. It's going so well. I've been having so much fun meeting students, going through the experience with people that I went through the first class with, which is really exciting, and welcoming in a whole new group of women to holistic witchery, which I think has been just the greatest thing. And to see kind of just their eyes light up, and when they realize that this is something that they can do and something that they can bring into their lives. And so it's been very exciting.
Yeah. It's been exciting to witness, and the feedback. And I don't often, to be honest, watch back all of the replays, but I do skip through them. I do a little skip to my loo through them. And I was watching I did this with both, but your most recent one, and the student shares at the end were just amazing and heartwarming. And I got all of the feels and chills, and just felt really excited for us at the Sisters Enchanted, but also for you to be receiving that, because it's so special when people just come out and say like, wow, you really did something to change my day today, just by showing up and doing your thing.
Yes, it was amazing. I mean, I was teary at the end as well, just hearing just those breakthroughs and those aha moments, and how wonderful the community is, and especially hearing it from someone new and someone who has not seen how supportive the community is and it can be, and then just realizes this is a great place and how wonderful it is, and how they can be here and be themselves and get support from people who've been in their shoes or people who haven't. And so either way, it's a great experience and a great community. So it's been wonderful to watch it.
Yes, so good. Now I've got two questions in mind. Which one am I going to ask first? I think I'll go with this one first. When you emailed us, because we were in a time of transition, and you emailed us offering to help. But what's interesting, and you didn't know, was that you were at the top of our list. Anna was going to email you. And in case anybody doesn't know who Anna is, she's the co-founder here, my sister, and she's actually the head of fulfillment here at the Sisters Enchanted. So she's the one who's in charge of just making sure everybody shows up in the right place and everything's done the way it's supposed to be done, and all the boxes are checked, and like everything's delightful and an experience. That's all Anna's jam. And Anna was going to reach out to you, and I think I was on a call with Anna, and she said, "Oh, Kelly's in my inbox right now." Now, if that is not divine timing and all things manifesting and witchy, all the things, I don't know what is.
Yes, it was so funny because I saw the announcement of two of the teachers going on to other things, and I had just finished filling in when Anna was out on maternity leave for co-witching, and I thought, well, maybe they need somebody, for that, and that's kind of what I had in mind, thinking, well, they need somebody to fill in for co-witching, and that was fun. I enjoyed it, and so maybe that's what I'll offer to do, and then Anna said, "You must be a witch or something because we were just going to reach out to you." I was like, "Oh, okay." And so she said, "But this is what we have in mind." And I said, "Oh, yes, that's even better." So the fitting in with holistic witchery just, seemed like such a good fit and a good path. And just, it's like, oh, definitely, I definitely believe in it. I've been through it. I live it, now. And so teaching it is just, it's been just a natural next step. So
Yeah.
it was really, really fun.
Yeah. I just had the biggest smile on my face. I remember when Anna said that. Look at that. She's in the inbox right now. I think that one of the things that people listening might be curious about, especially people who've been around for a while, is sort of how do you go from community member to a TSE teacher? And I'll share from my perspective, Kelly, knowing you now for, is it 2018 or 2019? I don't know, but years. And one of the things that sort of allows us to know you and know that you were like the person that we would lean on and bring in here with open arms is honestly that you've always shown up in every class that you've taken, not just for yourself, but other people. And you've given to the community without asking for something in return, which is like just helping people in comments and just showing up and and answering thoughtfully and from like not just as a student perspective, but also answering with the Sisters Enchanted in mind, like, oh, I'm pretty sure this is what they would say, so here's the answer. And you just really showed up for yourself. And we know that when somebody shows up for themselves, they're better able to show up for other people. So it's never been a doubt in our mind that you'd be able to do something like this. Can you talk a little bit more about sort of what it was like or what it's been like or is still like kind of seeing the Sisters Enchanted from both the community, like as a student, but now also as one of the teachers. So now you're part of the fulfillment here and, living up to the promise that we make. And what's that like? Just kind of seeing it from different ways.
Yeah, I know that, when I first started, this was all very new to me, and I was in that place of, just I wanted to explore all of the things, the crystals and the herbs, and knew that becoming a witch was what I was going towards, but I was still having to process what all that meant for me. And so, coming to joining the Sisters Enchanted and in with that mindset and seeing other people being able to share that journey with other people was really helpful. And, being in the community and knowing that as a student, the only way that I was really going to get anything out of it was if I showed up, like you said, showed up for myself. And then, I was just so impressed, and I still am. And that's one of the reasons that, I offered to, help out in the first place, was the fact that this community is just so, in this age of Facebook and Instagram and, trolls and things like that. The fact that lead with kindness is the first thing that is always shown from everybody in the group and from the leadership and the teachers, and that's always been something that has stuck with me because it's very rare to find that in a community, and especially today. And knowing that and being kind and knowing that everyone has that mindset has been great. And so that helped me be more and it took me a long time to get on Zoom. It took me a long time to speak up and to, put my camera on. But then once I realized how welcoming the community is and how that everyone was here because they wanted to share in this journey as well, then it was much easier for me to start sharing and then for me to be helpful for other people as they came along. And so now I feel like that I've got to that point that I can kind of look back and say, oh yeah, I know where you're coming from and I can help you now. And so, seeing people come in to Holistic Witchery as a teacher now, I can see it and I can think back of how it was when I started and to be on that other side and to do that as well and to know that to set that example of leading with kindness and letting everybody be welcome and be themselves and being supportive and always just being that supportive person. And so that has been, really fulfilling for me and, I hope fulfilling for other people as well. So that's kind of seeing it from the other side as a teacher.
Yeah. Yeah. You're just doing so well. I just want to say that over and over again, like gold stars, A pluses. What's it like for you to, like, an extension question of this, to teach online? Like, have you found that? Because I think as a student, I have a different relationship with this, because even before the Sisters Enchanted, I was using Skype for my old business when it was still like kind of hard to use and unpredictable, would kind of drop in and out, and like no one's Skype handle worked. So I've been attempting to do digital things well before Zoom even existed. And it was always kind of different. And I don't have the experience of being on the receiving end of a live virtual experience outside of being a person who already knows how to deliver them, because I delivered first. So I don't know what that's like. So what's it like for you as a presenter or the teacher, to get on Zoom and teach virtually and make this connection sort of now that you've seen it from both ends? I hope that question makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It is different. And, I once upon a time was a high school English teacher. And so, that's how I started out doing things, writing things on a chalkboard and, having, my little projector that, transparencies and things like that. So, it was very much a hands-on and Zoom, it did take some getting used to. But I think that because you're able now, things used to be so segmented. Like if you could not get something like this in your area, then you just kind of lucked out and you're just like, well, I don't live in a big city. I don't live somewhere that I can just pop down to my local metaphysical store and pick up some tarot cards and things like that, especially in this space. Having the Zoom and having it delivered this way has been, a blessing, because I've been able to really explore things that have not been available to me and where I am in this area. And I think that goes for a lot of people who are coming here. And the Zoom, I think, is just getting used to it, just getting on and listening. And I think I've been on the other side enough and doing one-on-one readings, because I've done that for a long time, just with doing tarot readings with people on Zoom. That's kind of has helped me transfer from going on the receiving end to doing something personal to now making that transition into doing it into a live audience, live Zoom audience. And I think it works out very well, and especially with the material that we present. I can imagine that it would be a very different experience in person, but then I think about how many people, if it were a class just in my area, how many people I wouldn't meet and how many people I wouldn't be able to interact with. And so I think that is the definite advantage of being, even though it's not in person, it's still very much interactive. People can get on and share if they want. and they don't have to if they don't want to. And so
Mhm.
they can still get the lessons, get the material, and share as much as they want, interact as much as they want. And I think that's, a great thing, especially for people starting out in this journey. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, there are some disadvantages to it, and especially when Zoom doesn't want to work, or, there's a storm, the internet goes out or something like that. But, that's just so rare these days with
Yeah.
the technology that we have, that it's just made it so easy to be a teacher on Zoom.
Yeah. Definitely easier than it used to be.
Yes.
That is
Mhm.
for sure. That's for sure. You
Yes.
make a lot of great points there about so many people who don't like a virtual class is helpful for bleh, I can't talk all of a sudden. Helpful for people who don't have access to something like this where they live, but also for people who maybe do, but they're not quite sure about accessing that. Folks who find it challenging to find the time to commute maybe to a place, because that's an added barrier. And then I know for myself, which is like the other end of the spectrum, I could go to lots of in-person things, but I travel around a lot. So for me to commit to like group things that are ongoing is really challenging because I often would miss most of them,
Yes.
because I'm like fleeting in where I'm going to be. So when things are online, it helps me commit to a group program or getting to know people, um, without having to miss half of them because I, just can't go to all the things. So
Mhm.
I think it's
Definitely.
helpful for that. Now, the next question I'm going to ask you, I think I know the answer, but what is your favorite? Well, this is a two-part, I guess. Your favorite holistic witchery topic, but what one's going to be your favorite to teach, and are they the same?
Tarot is definitely my favorite topic, of course. Tarot is my first love, and so I do like to teach that. However, I really do, and this is the moon unit that we just did, Dancing with Moon, and I really do. I think that is going to be my favorite to teach because I just do love working with the moon. And I, love doing I set up a little altar for my new moons and full moons, and we do the co-witching and Enchanted Journey. Always do my spreads, and just I really did enjoy that unit. And of course, going into the next ones, we'll see. But I think that will be my favorite one to teach and do the activities with. And, then of course to teach tarot will just be like, yes, to do that. But working with the moon is definitely a close second for me because I do really enjoy that. And it's something that it's I do just naturally now. I just know where the moon is and know what sign the moon is in, and I have an altar and I have rituals that I do for myself, and then doing the co-witching. So that's very exciting to me too.
Yeah. Yeah. I knew you were going to say tarot.
Yes,
I
of course.
already knew the answer. um, which I love too I love that you're here teaching because one of the things that I find after teaching tarot and whatnot for just so many years, like I still love it, but I find that I can it's become more challenging for me to get out of my like many years way of doing it and come back to like what's it like to experience this for the first time. And I have to be really aware of that and like step out of it. And you're, being part of the community for so long, I think it's a definite benefit to have your set of eyes on teaching in holistic witchery. So I think that's a great addition, and why your offering is so beneficial to the people in the community right now, for sure. So a random thought. I mean, all right. Has there been a favorite student? Like we talked about this a little bit before, how at the end of your last live Kelly's Corner. I just love that name. It's
I
so
do too.
it's so cute. The last live Kelly's Corner, how some of the shares were just so heartwarming. But has there been one in particular that really stood out to you so far, like a student aha or like a big win that just made you think like, oh my goodness, I never would have, 5 years ago, was it that you joined us? I don't know, but never would have thought 5 years later that that I'd be like receiving this win or this aha. Have you had a moment like that?
Yes, well, when I did the second week, we all created our spiral talismans, and we all had our special thing, and I had a shell, and it was just kind of like, I knew that that's the first when I decided that that's what we would do that week. I knew that that shell would be mine, and so I kind of prepared people and let them know to look for it, and just to see how many people did it, how many people participated, did it in class that day, how many more people did it on the replay, and then how many people shared what they did in the group. And I was just amazed and how beautiful all of them were and how personal they were and that they felt. And I think that's too, feeling like this is my personal magical item, and this is something that I've picked for myself, and now I'm going to put it out there for everybody else to see. And that can be, I think, a little bit intimidating, but people felt great about sharing it, and people felt that they picked out something that was special to them, and a lot of them had a story behind it, and just reading the stories was just so amazing just to feel all of that magic, and that people felt comfortable enough to share that, and because it is very personal and you're doing your own magic. And I know there's in a lot of other groups or settings, there's a lot of that, oh well, I don't have this, and so I can't share because I don't have the same as somebody else, or I don't, mine is just a rock that I found in my backyard. But people share everything, and it was so touching that they felt comfortable enough to do it. And I think that was just to me was so amazing, just to see it all and to see everybody share and to hear their stories and to know that they felt comfortable to share and have all of that magic just swirling around that one thing and then bringing it forward as we go along into the rest of the classes. So that was really amazing.
Yeah. So delightful. You're delightful. What you're bringing is delightful. If I haven't said that already like 5 times in this this podcast. All right. Do you have any last words of wisdom for somebody who might be listening to this, who's maybe been thinking about joining us here in a class at the Sisters Enchanted, or obviously you're going to tell them to get off the fence and join us, but like,
Yes.
like a word of wisdom or advice about kind of that point where you're unsure, just what would you say to that person?
Yes, it's to me, I think the biggest thing especially with the Holistic Witchery and making that choice to join is that it's a class, and it's not, and I don't want to say class because it's not just a class. I mean, it is an experience, but it's an experience that is going to be a foundation that you can use going forward in so many different ways in so many parts of your life. And the most important thing, I think, to me is Holistic Witchery always meets you where you are. So if you just want to have a community of like-minded spiritual people, that's what it'll bring to you. If you really want to dig into reinventing who you are because you've gone through some kind of transformation recently and that's left you like, I don't know who I am, that's where it will meet you. If you are younger and have young kids, if you're older and retired, wherever you are in your life, this class will meet you there and take you forward. And so it's always something that's going to meet you and help you and push you forward and bring you forward in that space. So that to me is one of the most magical things about it. So if you haven't joined and you are on the fence, get off the fence and join.
Yes.
It is great.
Get off. Come hang out in
Mhm.
Kelly's corner.
Yes. 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 Mhm.
You know, I'm a little, I don't know, I don't want to say jealous, but like I made Holistic Witchery and like I just have Holistic Witchery, but you get your own corner. It seems
Yes.
a little unfair. Like, there's no Sarah's space, but there's a Kelly's corner.
Oh, yes. We're all in Sarah's space. And, I have my own special corner in Sarah's space. So, yes.
Thanks
Uh-huh.
for that word,
Yes.
that sentence of affirmation.
Yes. Yes. Because I really do. I mean, I do feel like that. I mean, I do feel like it is this, it's Sarah's space, and it's also, everyone else, with the team, and, you and Anna and everybody who contributes to this whole space that is that space, and seeing it from the community point of view. I see that too, the how people, just look up to you and for your guidance, and, just really feel comfortable here. I mean, that they, it is, I think, a, Sarah space to them, and a place where they can come and be themselves, and, know that you're like, yeah, I get you. I understand what you're going through. But I can also challenge you to, think differently about it. And I think that's, one of the great things too. And I just see people, it's just like, oh, yes, I get it. So that's been great too, to see people in Sarah's space, find that.
Sarah's space is probably not where you want to go if you don't want to be challenged a little bit, because I'll push back.
Yes. Yes.
I'm a
But,
pushbacker.
but we need it, or
Yeah.
we would stay in the box all
Yes.
the time, and that's not good.
I like to envision the whole of Sisters Enchanted as like Hogwarts or something, and everyone's got their like rooms and their their spaces, but Hogwarts is nothing if it's not for all of these, like all the houses and the teachers' rooms and the things that make it so cool, right? That otherwise it's just a castle, and it's not Hogwarts, like that's what makes it Hogwarts, is all the stuff. So that's how I like to see it in my mind. All the nooks and crannies from all the contributors and the community, and where everybody gathers. And I just picture it that way, which might be weird, but it's true.
Yeah, it is very magical space. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Kelly, for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. And anybody listening in, come hang out with us in Holistic Witchery. You can learn more at holisticwitchery.com. If you're in the community and you've not said hello to Kelly or joined in on a Kelly's Corner yet, what you waiting for? Hang out with her or watch a replay. You'll be glad you did.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And do join, and, go to check it out, check out the website, ask questions in the group, whatever. And, come hang. It's great.
Yes, we'd love to have you. All right, y'all. Well, I guess that's it. Until next time, we hope that you have an enchanted rest of your day ahead. Bye, Kelly.
Bye. Thank you.
If you liked this episode of the Expedition to Soul podcast, please rate, review, subscribe. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, it will really help us spread everyday magic, intention, and intuition to the masses, and helps us so much as a small business. Be sure to hit that subscribe button on your favorite podcasting platform so you never miss an episode. There are new episodes every Tuesday and astro forecasts for the week ahead every Friday. If there's any topics you'd want to hear, anything you want us to dive deeper into, shoot us an email at magic@thesistersenchanted.com. And as always, thank you so much for listening and being part of the community here at the Sisters Enchanted. And we'll see you in the next episode.